So, popular YouTuber Jaiden Animations made a video on her experiences diving into Digimon for the first time. And my editor Jamie said that I should probably react to it, and yeah, he's probably right. So on today's video, I'm going to be reacting to Jaiden Animations' video, Pokemon Fan Plays Digimon and Hated It. What is up, digital companions? My name is Karn EX and welcome back to a reaction video. Don't think I've done one of these in quite a while. And yeah, I'm reacting to Jaiden Animation's video where she tried Digimon for the first time. I've seen little bits of this, but I kind of skipped through it just before my stream the other day. She literally dropped it like just before my birthday stream. Thanks, Jaiden, for my birthday present. So without further ado, let's watch it.
I know absolutely nothing about Digimon. Pokemon is my entire life, so why would I need to branch out? Well, I happen to be a very open-minded person, and the only way to prove that is to play a Digimon game for the first time.
This is one of my favorite things about non-Digimon fans. They very much seem to view like any monster franchise as some kind of like branching out from Pokemon thing, which is probably controversial with some Digimon fans.
I wanted to see if, putting all my bias aside, I could bridge the gap between the two, and they could live together in harmony in my tiny little brain hobby drawer. So thus began
Totally valid, yeah. I think I like Pokemon and Digimon.
Journey on finding the perfect Digimon game to start out with. At first,
So this is where I think Jaiden's initial starting point for the video was kind of flawed. Now yeah, she'll generally cover video games, so that makes sense. To me, Digimon is not really a video game franchise. I've seen some less than polite criticisms of this video. I think everyone should maybe rein it in. They're fictional monsters on the internet. And of course, this is in no way a mean video about Jaiden. What I would say is I think that jumping into Digimon through the video games, it's kind of like getting into Spider-Man through the video games. Like, there's a couple really good Spider-Man games, but most of them are shitty movie tie-ins. And I think that's kind of the same for Digimon. There are a couple of pretty good Digimon games, but generally you don't get into Digimon through the games. To me, Pokemon is a game franchise that happened to have bloomed into a multimedia franchise, whereas Digimon is a VPET and then anime franchise, which bloomed into a multimedia franchise too, and does have a focus on games, but it's not really the main thing.
everywhere I looked, there were threads upon threads of people trying to agree on what Digimon game is even.
And again, she kind of touched on it, but she didn't go fully in there. Yeah, there is a lot of disagreement in Digimon fandom because Digimon is different things to different people. Pokemon is kind of Pokemon to everyone, whereas to some people Digimon is really just the VPET. Some people only like the VPETs. Some people only like the anime. Some people are only players of the card game. I know tons of people who only play Digimon card game have like vague memories of Fox Kids Digimon, and that's about it. The games, because there's not been any like perfect Digimon game, I even think like Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth, while kind of great, is not a perfect Digimon video game by any stretch of the imagination.
Every time I thought I had a lead on a game, I would look further into it and realize a lot of people actually had a lot of complaining to do.
Now, weirdly, this makes it seem like the Pokemon community doesn't have a lot of disagreement. Digimon fans actually get along a lot better, I think, than the Pokemon fans do.
It seemed like I've walked in on a fandom that has just been hurt over and over.
Yeah,
and they're
you're
really
not
trying to
wrong,
hang on
Jaiden.
to
There has been some hurt.
and believe in the good of the franchise, but they've just been put through a lot.
So that's interesting, like put through a lot going to Survive. Survive did have the wait for Survive was difficult, those 4 years. 4 years isn't that long for video game development. Survive ended up getting like a 7 out of 10 on general kind of like 70% good review scores, which I think is pretty valid. A lot of people don't like Survive because it's a visual novel, and I will say that first hour sucked. In fact, I did a whole review on it, card on screen. But I don't know whether I agree that Survive is like punishment. The marketing was misleading. That's something I see a lot. I don't know if it was. I don't think it was at all, actually. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
I've never had to do so much research just to find a single game in a franchise that people can just all agree is good.
And again, that's an interesting, like, I get what you mean, but like, Pokemon fans don't agree either. I've seen a lot of Johto hatred come out of nowhere the past couple of years. Like, there's no one game Pokemon fans agree is the best either, or one you should start with.
Digimon World, but apparently it's like a tedious and frustrating Tamagotchi game where you just start over if they die.
Which is really funny because that's what Digimon is. Digimon are basically Tamagotchis.
People said Digimon World 3 is a typical RPG, but the battles get tiring and annoying. Lots of backtracking and never feeling like you get any.
Digimon World 3, in my opinion, is the game that Jaiden probably should have started on. If she was going to go for a game that is available in the US. We will get to what I think she really should have gone for in a minute.
I spent multiple research sessions searching.
Jaiden, I was right here. Not that you know who I am. You need recommendations next time, hit me up.
Everyone was saying different things.
Yeah.
No one seemed to be able to agree
Twitter
that
is
there was
difficult.
just one game that was overall good and easy to start with.
Twitter let you down, Jaiden. The best, easy, good, and easy to start Digimon game, unfortunately, did not leave Japan officially. However, I get the suspicion you probably emulated for this video anyway, based on what I saw. I would recommend to anyone wanting to try Digimon games for the first time to legally buy Digimon Adventure PSP from Japan, and then once you own a legal physical copy, downloading the English patch version and then emulating, whether it be on PC, Switch, PSP. PSP can be emulated on a ton of shit, even mobile now, Android and iOS, I believe. Adventure PSP to me is probably the perfect starter game. If you've only ever really been familiar with Digimon as like a cartoon, it's based on that cartoon, Digimon Adventure, the first season. If you're not familiar with Digimon at all, it introduces you to the world quite nicely, has a very simple RPG battle system, and because it was made for the PSP, each chapter is nice and short.
You guys need to start pitching the franchise better. You made this difficult.
It's difficult not because of Digimon fans, but because of Bandai Namco, or rather the release schedule. Some of the really good games never left Japan. It's hard to recommend them when you don't know how up on things like emulation or importing or people's like ability to read Japanese. It's hard to recommend a Japanese exclusive game because either you haven't played it or they will not be able to play it.
The majority of people enjoyed Digimon Cyber Sleuth, but the thing is, that's not really the type of game I wanted to play for the channel.
Which is very funny because the game she did pick, spoilers, Digimon World Dawn and Dusk, were Digimon story games in Japan, so they're kind of the predecessor to Cyber Sleuth anyway.
It looks like it's got more of a Persona 5 vibe that...
Yeah, Persona 5 vibe. I mean, Shibuya's in it.
All this research led me to a game I decided to settle on. Digimon World Dawn.
So I really like Digimon World Dawn and Dusk. I played Dusk a lot when I was like a teenager, sort of 12, 15, I think. I really like them, but yeah, they're not without their faults, and it's an interesting game to start with. Pretty generally liked by a lot of people, I would say. A lot of people recommend it, so I guess that makes sense.
This was one of, if not the most miserable video game experiences I've ever forced myself to go through.
Now that's kind of insane to me. I don't know what games Jaiden plays. Digimon World Dawn being one of the most miserable games I've ever played is quite a statement. Now, of course, opinion is subjective. Maybe I've played more shitty games than Jaiden has. It's not that bad.
Tried to put my name in and realized they only allow 5 characters for the main character's name, so I'm Jaiden.
Not an uncommon thing in video games. Like, I remember a lot of arcade modes in games like Tekken 3 and stuff had a 3-character limit. I think some of that possibly comes from the Japanese translation or something. I'm not entirely certain.
Honestly, I was shocked to see how huge and powerful they all looked.
Yeah.
Look at these big men. Pokemon starters don't look like this.
Exactly.
This is awesome.
It's Bola.
Also, what is a Digimon? I went.
So people are probably going to pick up on that and like, oh yeah, the game tells you. The game does tell you, but let's not forget, YouTube videos are entertainment packages, and Jaiden's being funny. Please remember, when you consume any piece of media on the internet, it's edited, and sometimes people are just saying things for the funny animation, for the funny video moment, or just the mildly entertaining video moment, you know?
What's going on? Oh my god, what the f is that? In a complete twist in story direction, a genuinely terrifying virus of death spawns and starts turning all the Digimon into Digi-Egg.
Most Digimon games always have a non-Digimon thing that is terrorizing the digital world.
Including mine. I checked my guys, and Charmon is the same. Tony Tiger is a bit smaller, but Big Worm is a dinosaur now. He's not a big worm anymore. Now his cleverly tailored nickname doesn't make any sense. And Big Worm starts off as a lizard. That's like the opposite of how evolution works.
Digimon evolution, Jaiden, is not evolution like Pokemon. Digimon is all about data and age cycles. Also, Digimon is not a worm. He's a sea dragon, so him digivolving from a little small snow Agumon dragon makes sense. Digimon evolution is a lot more all over the place, and this is probably the most common thing I see in Pokemon fans. Even I'm accused of doing this when I make Digimon videos, is wanting Diglett to become Dugtrio, when often in Digimon, Diglett becomes Golem. There will be similar traits, similar attributes, parts of their data which have gone forward into the next stage, but Digimon evolution can also be completely random and like completely all over the place. V-Pets, the origin of Digimon, was great at that. Digivolution is so much more free free than Pokemon Evolution, and that's not something you maybe know going into it, but it's something maybe someone should have warned you on. And again, I don't think is a good criticism of Digimon, but it's something funny to remark upon. But Seedramon is not a worm.
All the dungeons and areas and stuff are mazes. You don't have a mini-map to know where you're going or where you even are any point of the dungeon.
So, yes, I found myself getting lost in the DS Digimon games fairly often. And the encounter rates, especially more so in Digimon World DS, I would say, but Dawn and Dusk are guilty of it too, are pretty bad. Something that I think a lot of people don't know is that you can use the touchscreen to look around the map slightly. That may have helped. It's not something maybe you would even think about, especially as it appears, like I said, that she is emulating this game, but you can, while there isn't a mini-map, you can use the bottom screen.
And there's no item to avoid the random encounters.
A repel would be
Basically,
awesome in the DS
This
games.
is like, I think I chose the wrong game.
It's very possible you did pick the wrong game, and while random encounters are still a thing in a lot of games, Digimon Adventure PSP, usually the encounters you can see them on the overworld, just like Legends Arceus or Scarlet and Violet. So I think maybe Adventure PSP would be the next game to look into if I were you, Jaiden.
The mountain. At least I think it's the top. I have no idea where I am and never will. And the other two guys who left a defenseless little girl to be roasted over a Digifire are getting beat up by a Digi.
That is great.
I knocked the
Feel
bird in
them
the head
knocking
hard
shit
enough
out
to
kids
make
is
him come to his
hilarious.
senses. Jaiden, we're all being traumatically and irreversibly turned into Digi-eggs over here.
Yeah, I do think in general games could really benefit from more, here's what you should do next for the main quest stuff. And a lot of games, especially of this era, didn't have it, mainly due to just screen limitations, I think.
Even the main hub is a maze.
It's not that bad. There's like 6 screens, I think. It's not great, but it's not that bad.
If I want to progress the story, I need to earn it. I have to walk into this building, talk.
Leomon having How to Survive as a book's pretty good. On 2 levels.
Surely the people who said this game was pretty good, all things considered, were secret enemies hoping to pull innocent victims into their dark, dark digiweb, looking to either break the weak or torture the strong.
Obviously it's a joke, obviously it's for humor. I think this speaks to a lot of people who are used to very corridor games, or if they're used to open world games, they're used to open world games with a ton of like, go here, do this. When a game is not a corridor like Pokemon games tend to be, Pokemon games are very corridory. You struggle a little bit. And so while I think that is potentially a fault of the game, I think that can also be, I don't want to say get good, but could also be, you know, I'm guilty of it tons. I don't enjoy games, not because they're bad necessarily, but because they're not for me.
Am I the only one who thinks this game was meant to be given to hostages to torture information out of them? I'm 3 hours in and I'm straight up ready to spill my mother's maiden name. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna be the first person to use a Nintendo DS to kill a man.
This makes me think I should do a video that's just like, what is Digimon? For people like Jaiden.
How long did it take me to experience that story? 15 in-game hours. And I was cheating. I was using
15 hours isn't that long.
speed up. I'm really sorry, Digimon fans. I really have nothing
It's okay,
against
Jaiden. I'll forgive you.
Digimon as a whole. In fact, I absolutely loved a lot of the Digimon designs. When it comes to monsters and creatures, I have to admit, I am an edgy bitch. So look at all these fellas. I'm surrounded by everything I could
They
ever
do
want
rock.
in a monster. Pokemon could never. Maybe Aggron. I even got Big Worm back. He's my friend forever.
Yay!
Despite all my efforts, I chose the wrong Digimon game.
Yeah.
I'm sorry I didn't play Cyber Sleuth. I didn't know the other option was 1,000 punches to the skull. Regardless of,
The other option, Jaiden, is Digimon Adventure PSP. Trust me.
I am coming out of this experience a bit of a Digimon enjoyer.
Nice.
Maybe I still don't know a single thing about any of it, but I have some favorite guys. I think they're cool. One day I will play Cyber Sleuth and hopefully be able to commit to being a fully fledged Digimon fan. That's how I think it works. Until then, Digimon.
Maybe not.
I'm worried about you. Please seek therapy.
I'm great,
Hello.
Jaiden. So, I don't need therapy, Jaiden. Not for Digimon, anyway. So I would say, obviously, ultimately, I think people want to maybe go in on this as Digimon fans, but it's supposed to be a video for entertainment, just making jokes, right? The criticisms, I think some of them are really valid. Some of them are perhaps just not having a reference point. Coming from a very Pokemon-focused fan, it's intimidating, right? It's different. Personally, I would say to Jaiden, as I said throughout the video, play Digimon Adventure PSP. Maybe try one of the sillier games like Rumble Arena. But really, Digimon, as I said in that intro, is not a game franchise. So if you find yourself really liking these Digimon creatures, Jaiden or anyone who might be kind of thinking about Digimon because of Jaiden's video, try watching a season of the anime. Either dubbed or subbed, they're quite easily available. And if they're not available in your area, well, you know, there's always yo-ho-ho. I would recommend starting with Digimon Adventure or Digimon Tamers. Digimon Ghost Game is airing right now, but it is a lot for people who are not experienced with Digimon. I think seasons like the original Digimon Adventure and Digimon Tamers will take that love that people like Jaiden have for the existing creature designs and contextualize them a bit. Give them more information about how digital worlds work, etc. I think this was overall a pretty fun video, pretty entertaining, and just maybe perhaps she started with the wrong piece of Digimon media. As Digimon fans, I think everyone's been pretty kind about this, but I can definitely see some people getting kind of up in arms about it. She's just having fun. She's just making a funny video for the internet. It's ultimately not that deep, and while there are some things that she got wrong, the whole point of the video is someone experiencing Digimon for the first time. And if people experiencing a Digimon product for the first time have these things, have these opinions, have these thought processes, those are still valid. And Digimon fans, I think our job is not to be like, oh, you got it wrong, and more to be like, oh, well, hey, actually, like, if you check this thing out, or like, if I just told you this thing, then that would help more people get into Digimon. So I want to say to Jaiden, thank you for making a really fun video. I want to say to Digimon fans, just be nice. And also, I think Jaiden's video will do good things for Digimon. Every time someone popular talks about a thing, more people go, oh yeah, I remember that thing. I want to go back to it, or I want to check it out for the first time. Anyway, if you like this reaction, I'm probably never going to do another one until another big YouTuber does a Digimon video. Huge shout out to my sovereign ZDK14 and JMon, as well as all the names you can see on screen right now for supporting the channel with the hard-earned money. Check out the video below me because it'll be something to do with Digimon. Maybe it'll learn you something. And I'll see you next time when we go digital. Bye-bye.